¡Epa! ¡Bienvenido!
What's up?
Otra edición más del Man Show. Le damos las gracias a toda nuestra gente linda. I want to thank everybody for being out. Today is such a special day because not only do we get to be in your presence there, but we also get to be in the presence of somebody who's had effect on. Yo creo que everyone at the table has had an effect on our lives. And we'll get into the beautiful place that we're at after we do introductions. But first, I want to welcome my man Joe Zuniga. Saluditos, hermano.
Thank you. Gracias.
My man Julio Perez.
What's up?
JP.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Our boy DJ Moyo.
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, today, man, it's such an honor to be here, and I want to thank our Coco once again, bro, for coming through, because today we are here on this. Yeah, Freddie and Loco's giving us a call. We'll talk. We won't get too much into Freddie. We'll send a shout out to Freddie. But ladies and gentlemen, today, we get to talk about possibly the favorite movie at this table. I mean, definitely one of my top five.
One of my top.
One of my top five.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think if you're even Mexican, Puerto Rican, like one of your top fives has to be this movie.
Yeah.
So and today he had such an impact on each and every one. Let me. He's had such an extensive career y todavía no acaba. Damas y caballeros, con nosotros Panchito Gomez.
Gente, muchas gracias.
Eso.
On American Me, you saw him play Teenage Santana, and had such an effect on all of us, man. And it's so amazing to have you here, bro. And he's become a friend of us. Yeah, gracias a Dios. We've hung out.
Brotherhood. All day.
We told stories.
We had cigars.
We've had cigars, and man, I'm just so happy to pause have you in my life.
Well, I'm happy.
That got a little personal there.
That went deep.
Yeah,
There's a lot of women that are gonna be jealous too, and men.
What?
No, man. How you
Things
guys?
have changed.
How you guys feel? How you doing, Panchito? How's it going?
I'm
bro?
good, man. I appreciate you guys having me here, man. You guys are like brothers right now. You know, we met a few times, and there's a familiarity there that brings this a lot closer. But I appreciate you guys having me.
Yo, one thing that we can do, we have these awesome drinks right here. I'm gonna let my man Joe talk to us about this beautiful place that we are at here today. Salucita, pa' ahí, salucita.
Salud.
My viewing and listening folks.
Vamos a darle gracias a ROMIS Tacos aquí en Brandon, Florida, guys. Siempre he's always has our back. He's done well behind the community as well.
Yes.
And man, the food is tremendous.
Yeah, the food is
sabroso.
excellent. Whoever knows us knows that this is one of our go-tos when it comes. Big shout out to Jesus y la familia completa, las cocineras también. Panchito's a man that knows what he likes. He likes la vironga that's what we.
La malonga.
Vironga.
Vironga.
Cuidado con lo que dice, papá.
¿Qué estás tomando, compadre?
Yo, un modelo.
He likes models, bro. He likes models.
Hey, I don't blame you.
What do you got there, Mo?
This is a michelada, bro.
Nice.
That's like crazy stuff.
Look how beautiful that is.
Well, hey, what you got there, Joe?
Es un jarito.
Wow.
Literally.
They literally put a jarito in this thing.
Hey, and is that ¿qué es eso adentro? ¿Una toronja o qué?
Did you find that outside? Because there's a bottle in there, bro.
Es tequila con jarito.
¿Tiene tequila?
Tiene chamoy, tiene tajín, tiene un poquito de todo.
Ah.
So good.
Yeah,
It's so delicious.
How about our fancy guy over there?
Yeah, what's up with that, bro? Sangria?
Really, Julio? At a Mexican restaurant
Wow.
Sangria, baby.
Sangria.
And it's a virgin.
with tequila in it.
It's a virgin.
It's a virgin.
You know,
I don't always drink sangria, but when I do.
But when I do
It's a virgin.
Usually
Saludcita, muchachos.
Salud,
To
my brother.
Panchillo.
God bless you.
Eso.
Salud, Panchillo.
Vaya.
Yo. So thanks to ROMIS. All their information is in the show notes. A link to the website and their social media también. Oye, Panchillo, let's get in, bro. First of all, born and raised, your heritage, Where are you from, my friend?
I am Puerto Rican, Ecuadorian, raised in New York, in Spanish Harlem, and in the South Bronx.
Wow.
And then I would say like I was 15 years old. It keeps coming out.
Yeah, no, just get close and you're good.
Around 15, 16 years old, we went out to Los Angeles, my mom and I.
How old are you?
How old am I now?
No, where are you when you all went?
I was like 14, 15 when I went to LA.
Uh-huh.
I had done a movie in Kentucky that they wanted to do some reshoots.
Uh-huh.
And we were living in New York, and it happened to be that Freddie Prinze had just passed away, and they were redoing Chico and the Man. So NBC and James Cormack, God bless his soul, flew me out there, and at the same time, I screen tested for it and blah, blah, blah. Came real close. Unfortunately, something happened that they went a different way, or it was negotiations. I don't remember. But we winded up doing pickup shots for this movie that I did. And my mom and I were there for like, we were only supposed to be there like a week and a half. We were there like 2 weeks, 3 months, like a month almost. And then the rest of my family was still in New York. And then my mom and I, and my agent decided, well, shit, things popping out here, let me stay. So we stayed a couple of months, and a couple of months turned a few years. Then the rest of my family came out, my dad. And I stayed, and I was there. Shit, I went through middle school, well, not middle school, 8th grade, and all through high school, college, and did a lot of work out there. But we go back and forth to New York, and to Puerto Rico a lot. So.
Wow. Oh, shout out to your mom, man.
Yeah, man.
Sure, bro.
Let
me
yeah,
tell you,
she got
my mom was a beast, bro. My dad was my dad. He's an actor too. We'll get into that later. God bless his soul. Pero, he had some problems with personal things, legal things, basically. And he couldn't really travel with us too much. So my sisters and my little brother would stay with my grandmother in Spanish Harlem while me and my mom would do all the shit. So at the same time, because my dad was going through his legal things, and, basically he was,
So that's where the acting bug really came from, isn't it?
the acting from my dad, yes.
From dad.
My dad was a great, put it this way, my dad, his name was Cesar Cordova. God bless his soul. He was one of the original cast members of West Side Story on Broadway. And
wow.
He did
Get
a small
outta
thing.
here.
And he did a lot of stage. He did his first thing he did with one of the biggest plays that he did was called the Does a Tiger Wear a Necktie, which was in 1963, the year I was born. And just before he met my mom, obviously. He's my stepdad. He raised me since I was 2 years old. So that's my father.
Wow.
And to this day, anybody says anything different, we're going to fucking have a fight.
That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to the stepdad, son.
Stepdad.
That's
yes,
cool.
sir.
You know what I mean?
And that's why they call them stepdads, because you know what? He actually stepped up and raised my sisters, my brother.
Whoa, I like that. I never heard that.
He was crazy as shit house rat, but and I loved him to death. He was my manager. Basically, so we went out to Cali, did my shit. When I started, he was doing a Spanish version. Well, actually, remember the movie Superfly?
Yeah.
Well, Superfly was a ripoff of what my dad and this another Puerto Rican actor who was great, a guy named Jaime Sanchez, decided to do this Spanish film about chulos, pimps, in Manhattan. So they did it with, ghetto money.
Yeah.
Talking about dirt money,
Right.
cocaine people, drug people, whatever. So they were cool. They started doing this movie, and shit happened. They never got to finish it. And one of his production managers was working for CTW, Children's Television Workshop, which is who was doing Sesame Street.
Sesame Street, right.
Electric Company hadn't come up yet. Sesame Street was their first year when this guy was working with them. So my dad put me in this scene. I love baseball. That was my second passion. Baseball, boxing, and music. So I was playing catch with one of my friends in the neighborhood, and they were shooting on 105th and Columbus. And we were in the middle of the street playing catch, me and my friend. And my dad says, wait, there's a good fucking scene while these guys are walking. So there was a midget who passed away who played a pimp, too. They were fucking, we're talking the 70s, bro. So my dad, that was his right-hand man, the character, right? So they're walking down the street, and this midget comes by, and I'm playing catch. I stand up, and I looked at him. I got scared. I was like, what the fuck? That's a grown man. Y yo veo al enano, se llamaba Cartucho.
Y el nombre que le pusieron.
Veo Cartucho. So yo me levanto, and I'm taller than that motherfucker. And I knew him, but he scared me because he came out looking like fucking Pimp Boy Willie, So they were filming, and I didn't know. And I started talking shit to the guy. And my dad, I knew he was filming, so I was, said, Señor, ¿qué esto con otro? The guy looked at my dad. He said, "Whoa, that kid's a natural." He goes, "That's my son." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "As a matter of fact, season 1 of Sesame Street had just ended. The next season, they tried to change stuff, which is when they were bringing in Latino family, so to speak, and a bunch of new characters. So basically what happened was he said, have Panchito come to this and that. My dad was like, he asked me, do you want, I liked what he, I was on set every day. I was like 5 years
You
old.
were loving
I was like, oh yeah, I'm watching all this shit. I'm like, wow, this is cool. And then I was doing what the other actors, like my dad and all the other actors that were on there, I was emulating them. You know, they say kids are echolalic. So I was echoing everything they were doing. I did not know this then. You know, some of this came back to me later. Long story short,
How old are you at this point?
right now?
No, at that point.
Oh, I was like 5 years old.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
okay.
5 years old.
Oh, wow. All right.
5 years old. So, long story short, you know, my dad sends this picture of me to CTW, and 1,000 kids, and they come knocking on the door. Get 'em. My dad said, "Fuck that shit, close it. FBI, police, they're looking for me." He wouldn't answer, and this is a white guy. I said, Mr. Cordova. Mr. Cordova, and he's, oh shit, he's ready to escape through the fucking fire escape shit. Right? No, so he had an issue. He worked with these people, and he was a front man, and he got fucked.
Oh, okay.
You know, he took the
He
shit.
took the-
Yeah, and it was not bad. It was just, you know, back then it was. If he knew then, and if it was alive now, what they do now on the internet, forget about it. He was basically in this. Oh shit, and you know, they were doing what they call false
Imprisonment?
false information to secure credit.
Oh, okay.
So they were getting
Oh.
cars, and Baba was a
Yeah,
bunch
yeah.
of Italians and Puerto Rican, and he was the front man because of the production company. So they all bounced like cockroaches, and he got stuck
Oh.
because it was his company, so to speak.
And this was all trying to do this movie.
Right. That's where all that money was coming from originally.
Ah.
So anyway, I go and they come, and my mother goes, the guy says something about Sesame Street CTW. So he right away opens the
My
door.
bad.
We had 15 locks on that. Click, 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 click,
He was
click,
about to ride.
click, click. And he goes, yeah. He goes, listen, we want your son to come in, blah, blah, blah. So I go in, apparently, from what I heard, there was like maybe like 600, 700 kids that auditioned for this thing.
Oh, wow.
Now, mind you, Sesame Street was Sesame Street. The first year they had kids everywhere. Well, this was not just your regular everyday kid on the show. They were bringing in a Latino father, single father, with his son. You know, this is where the bilingual stuff came in to Sesame Street. So I go in, and I think I auditioned twice maybe or something, and they stopped. They said, that's it. This is the kid. So it turns out that Raul Julia, God bless his soul, a legend, who taught me a lot, played the father in Adam's Family, Gomez.
Yeah.
He's done a bunch, great Broadway star. I'm pretty sure Latinos of our age know who he is. For the young folk that don't know, he was Gomez Adams in the original 3 Adams Family movies.
He's amazing.
Amazing.
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
fucking legend.
He's
bro.
a legend,
I learned
yeah.
so much. Him and my dad were tight because they did a lot of Broadway shows together. They all went to the actor studio together. My father,
Oh, wow.
Raul, Sally Kirkland, Al Pacino, William Devane, Barbara
Wow.
Streisand. If I go names, and I've known all these guys since we were kids. Since I was-
Oh, amazing.
and to this day, you know, I see them, they say hi. And my father was crazy. Good actor, character actor, but he was tough. So, you know, he lost a lot of stuff because he didn't take shit from people.
Because the way he was.
So long story short, I get the role, and I was the first. I played Raul's son, and at that time it was Raul Julia, myself, the girl who plays Maria, Sonia Manzano, Emilio Delgado, a Mexican actor who played Luis, Charlotte Ray, God bless her soul, who was on The Facts of Life. She played Mrs. Garrett, and on Different Strokes, she played the mail lady.
Oh yeah. I
And we
remember.
were the other 5 new cast members.
Uh-huh.
The only one who's alive right now from that original cast is myself and Sonia, the lady that played Maria.
Wow.
Everybody else has
Oh,
passed
wow.
from the original cast.
Wow.
Everybody.
Ah, but you were 5.
I was
Yeah,
5.
it's 5.
So
Oh.
I was actually had a character. So my character's name was Antonio, and I played Raul's. I think his name was. God, I can't remember his name on the show. Anyway, I was the first young actor to be credited as an actor and as a cast member on Sesame Street. Probably the only one, because everybody else was just there. You know, you regular kids. So I had scenes, I had all kinds of stuff, and it was. I remember some of it. I don't remember too much of it.
Yeah, because, I mean, you figure at that age, how much do you remember?
Yeah. I remember the bad stuff, like the shit that I forgot. I remember one time we were doing a scene, and you know how like you do a scene and it's like you're talking to me, right? What? Yo, Sorry.
Joe.
I keep thinking of Juan. I don't know why, because I just talked to my friend. So we're doing a scene, right? And you're talking to me, and then you're saying something to me, and I go, and? To continue, right? So it goes into a montage. So I kept saying, and I'm looking at it, it's your line. I remember that. And Raul's looking at me and goes, no. Then I didn't know. I was fucking 5 years old. I didn't know that they were going into this one little scene, little montage. Yeah. So I remember that, and I remember I was scared of Big Bird. I was scared. When they first came, it was a lady inside her. It was Jim Henson's wife.
Oh, really?
And when they broke her apart in the middle of shit, and she was in there with the camera, and like I was like, but my man was Oscar, bro. My man Jim Henson was under that garbage can. That was the coolest shit. I used to go sit by that garbage can all the time.
No, that's cool. The Cookie Monster?
The Cookie Monster. I didn't really work with Cookie that I remember. I know Oscar, and that was the same year the Snuffleupagus came out.
Yo,
he was another.
That one didn't scare you?
That was not really.
That's
bro.
the elephant, right?
Yeah.
That was the elephant.
Yeah, the fucking what you call that? The Ice Age dude.
Yeah.
The Ice Age dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. So that sparked you up.
So from there I went on, and the agents came up. Did a bunch of commercials, a couple of little things here, TV shows in New York, and then I got a movie for NBC right after, like not even halfway through the Sesame Street session, and it was a TV special for NBC that won like a shitload of awards. It was actually a book written by a lady named Peggy Mann, and the movie is called The Street of the Flower Boxes. So that was actually my first film thing aside from the little commercials.
How old were you then?
The Streets of the Flower Boxes.
How old were you?
I was probably like 6 at that time. It was right after.
Yeah, man, this young man is working, bro.
Yeah, and it was crazy because like the lines and stuff. My dad would help me read, and even my mom, who spoke, her English was broken, but she understood it, so she would tell me, and I would rehearse with him. And then when we started filming, the producer and director was like, "Just go with it." So I knew the lines, but I would change them a little bit because you forget.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would cry sometimes. I'm sorry. And I said, no, just go. So 90% of that film, it was an after-school special. Actually, it wasn't even an after-school special. It was like those Saturday morning specials in the 70s. And it ended up winning a shitload of awards and blah, blah, blah. And it was fun, man. And then, it progressed from there.
Wow. And, I mean, fast forward a few years and now, I mean, when are you conscious that you're doing this? Like, cause you
right after that movie.
Yeah,
right after that movie.
Because now you're going to school. You're in first, second grade.
Yeah, when I remember. Well,
do you tell kids, hey,
no, I didn't. I was kind of embarrassed to say shit.
What?
Yeah, I was like, no, shit, you're in Spanish Harlem, bro. They fuck you up.
Oh, you an actor?
Muy chingón.
Este cabrón se cree más grande que el otro. And I don't even remember being called an actor. I was just working. I didn't even think it was work. To me, that was fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't say shit to anybody. To this day, sometimes I walk around and my parents taught me about humility. I'm Catholic, and I've learned that just be you, man. I do what I do, and I've done it for over 50 some odd years, and it's because I love it. There are a lot of people that do this because, okay, shit, yeah, the money's good, I ain't gonna lie. The fame is nice, I would never, to this day, till the day I die, from when I realized what I was doing especially in my 12, 13, early teens, I realized, you know what, this is cool, I like this. I wasn't doing it because I was forced, that's another thing. Because there were times my dad said, yo, you don't want to do this shit, you don't have to. I mean, no, I'm good. But, I thought about it one time, I said, there's a lot of actors, musicians, artists, and they're in it for one thing. And that one thing is, okay, I want to be famous and I want to make money. Yes, we all want to make money. I get it. But the thing about fame, cool. I like being recognized. Yeah, fuck, I'm not going to lie. I could be a construction worker right now. And I did your house. And the people down the street say, hey, that's the guy. That's recognition.
Yeah.
For sure. That means your job was done well. Me, I would not. And I talked to a few big actors, big friends of mine, who I'll mention later, about certain things that I would say, and they would look at me and say, you know what, you're doing the right thing. I don't do this because of the money or the fame. I do it because of the love. And there's actors and musicians, like I said, they do it because they want to be famous. They want to make that money. Cool, I get it. But are you that good? And then are you that, not to say, here comes that word again, the humbleness. There's a lot of, they don't give I wouldn't walk into a restaurant like this where nobody fucks with me. Where I can eat with my family, with my boys. Okay, cool. If you recognize me, I love it. Thank you. Right? But I don't want to be sworn. I don't want to be like that you know, the Tom Cruise version of you can't go nowhere, that Jennifer Lopez thing who I love to death. That type of shit where you can't do anything with your family without being harassed. Not only not only by people, now it's the whole paparazzi thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah,
sure.
you know, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, it feels good when when people recognize my work. But like I said, you know, shit.
To a point, in other words.
Exactly,
Yeah.
to a point.
To a point.
To a point, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, the money's great, you know, when you work. But being Latino, sometimes, you know, it wasn't as easy for us back in this, especially in the like early '80s, and mid '90s. You know, work was, you know, few and far between, and then, you know, you got 5 of us going up for the same fucking role, and we're all brothers.
Right.
So, like, you know, we would go in there like Isai Morales, myself, Ramon Franco, shit, who else? You know what? Jimmy came up later, but, you know, from my crew, it was Isai, Ramon Franco, God bless him, like that. So he was in tour duty. Who else? Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
And we would all go for the same
John
role.
Leguizamo?
Nah, John came up later.
He was later?
Yeah,
Oh,
much
okay.
later. But we would go in and we look at each other and say, fuck it, if I don't get it, I hope you get it.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the shit. No, we didn't envy each other. It was like, fuck it.
Until Cali came along, that's when you made the move, and that's
we made the move after that the Chico and the Man thing. We went, and then we finished that little movie that I did in Kentucky, and it was like 2 years later they reshot some stuff, and I was a little older, so I was like, damn, I don't know what these guys are doing. You know, I had long hair when we did the movie originally. And then, you know, my hair was a little shorter than the film. They wanted to put a wig on me. I looked at my mother. I ain't putting that shit on. I look like a little girl. I mean, no, man. So they figured something out where they made it look decent. But you could tell that the way they did it, it was a very independent, low-budget film back then. So, you know, they made it look okay. But you could tell the difference between, you know, a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old, 12-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, so to speak. But it was what it was.
Wow. So, and how old were you in American Me?
American Me, I was 28 years old playing 15.
No me joda.
De verdad, papi.
Oh wow.
What?
You know, I was in my prime.
I gotta look at this photo.
I was in my prime.
How old were you?
I was 28. They made me put on baby fat.
Do you see?
Edward James
Look how
Olmos
young
at
you look.
Universal, because I was working out a lot, right? And I was boxing and playing baseball and whatnot.
28.
So yeah, well,
Wow.
thank God I looked that young. So
Yeah.
Universal came up to me and said, "You look great, Panchito."
You had hair here, too, no?
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Wow. Wow.
Bartender.
We did another one.
That's my boy. I can mess with him like that.
But
No,
believe
you
it or not, that's real hair.
I know. I believe it.
I had a shitload of hair. Mira lo que pasó.
Julio's like,
We're not saying
do not
nothing.
look
Mama.
at me.
Julio, you want to look at the picture?
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Porfa. But, so they
Amazing
had
hair shots. This is great.
Yo, that's y'all gonna make me cry, man.
Look, if Julio ain't crying, we should.
Yeah, but Julio had that shit since he was born.
Oh,
No.
What?
It's by choice.
I had hair one.
One time.
when I
At one
met him,
time.
he had a fro.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah,
a fro?
nigga, look at that
Wow.
shit.
He used to braid my hair, and I was like, "You should braid your hair." And now look at him. Now
Bro,
look at him.
Before American Me, I had this big ass ponytail, what they used to call a mullet, but it wasn't a mullet.
Oh.
So I had my hair real long, and I would braid it in the back.
Huh?
Otra modelo, por favor. Yes, my love. I'm getting a modelo, guys.
Nice.
Nice.
Cerveza de campeones.
My God. So you're 28 with all that.
28, and they made me put on. They had me go on a pasta diet, not diet, but not to eat meat and shit. They had me put on like 5 pounds more of weight.
And they said
And
it's
not
to look
work
like
out,
baby fat.
Right, to look and
Young.
And at first I was like, get the fuck out of here. Se jodió la carnita, se jodió el bistec.
Yo, but like at
And
28,
you're in LA.
I love it.
No,
It's like-
no
But
tacos.
I was fat. I was skinny. I was working out.
Yeah.
Shit, I was 28, bro. I was looking decent.
Yeah.
Not
Nah,
to
nah.
toot my own horn, but
yeah.
and I was in good shape, and the face was still young looking, whatnot, and I barely had a mustache. Thank you, my love. Excuse me, folks.
Epa.
I barely
Yo, we
had
got a
like
big shout out to the ROMIS up in the place. Yes.
Thank you, Romis, for the love.
The homies is
Hang on, she filled this up
amazing.
real quick.
Romy hooked it up.
Wow.
So they made me put on this weight. We had like 10 weeks, 7 to 10 weeks before we started filming. I still had my long hair. I just finished a TV thing called Sweet 15 about the quinceañera.
Uh-huh.
That went to PBS and it's shown all over schools and whatnot. But I'll go back to that later. So I'm eating fucking pasta every day, bro. Noodles, las noodles me salían hasta de todo, brother.
And that's just to gain 5 pounds.
Yeah, not fat, but just like, I guess, I don't know.
Pudginess.
I guess, you know. So I go like 5 weeks before shooting, and we have a table read. And Eddie almost got blessed. It's my dad. He's my second dad. He's looking at me. He goes, "Okay, you're looking 17 now. You gotta go to 15." I said, "Fuck you." I said, "Get the fuck out of here for real." I would just change him to 17. What the fuck? I just turned 28. That was we started filming. I want to say. No, mentira. I was about to turn 28. We started filming in September, October.
Yeah.
I turned 28 during the movie.
Uh-huh.
So basically, I was 28. So I told him, he said, "Oh, you look about 17 now." I said, "Damn, bro." He goes, "And you know the hair's got to go, right?" I said, "What you talking about?" I already knew it. It's the 1950s. I was like, "I ain't cutting this shit till the day we start filming," which is what happened.
Wow.
This is what happened. And I had long hair. I had it in a nice braid. Blah, blah, blah. And to this day, I think my mother still has it. When they cut it off, I'm like, it took me like 2 years to grab that shit. It's still in a plastic bag. My mom has it.
Oh, really?
Hasta que la
Wow.
misma trenza y todo.
Wow.
Sí. But I needed to make, so we did it, and, you know, it was all right, you know, and then we had, let me tell you, the movie was hard to make. It was fun.
Yeah.
Because I was working with a lot of good friends. Like I said, Olmos and I go back since we first came to Cali. Him and his wife, when my mom and I went out there, they took us in, like, you know, his ex-wife, God, Kaija, God bless you, mama, if you're watching. And his sons were younger than me. They were babies, Bodhi and Miko. And we became best friends. I was a kid. I didn't have no friends out there. And
Wow.
Eddie would look after us, you know, and he'd call my father, and Caesar would like, "Eddie, you know, blah, blah, blah." This was before he did Jutsu and all that.
Wow.
And it was cool. So, you know, it was fun doing the movie, but we went through a lot of shit during that movie, bro.
Well,
Really?
yeah, let's talk about that because we were listening to a certain podcast in regards to the actual film itself,
Mm-hmm.
and they were saying that there was I guess because Edward James almost decided to make it very real in the sense that he was using actual names, the name of the gang. That they basically had some problems afterwards.
Well, here's the story on that. There's two versions of it. I don't know which podcast you saw. There's a few of them. The brand of the name, can we say it? La M.
Yeah.
La M
Yeah,
existed.
yeah.
It's the mafia. It's like
Yeah.
talking like Costa Nostra. La M existed. It was there.
Still exists.
It still exists. When we got the script for that, when he finished the script, the story was about the gang life. You know, how the Yemen became the Yemen. The script was written like 3 or 4 different times. Same thing, you know, not cleaner versions, but, you know,
Yeah.
excuse me, fixed, you know,
Edited.
changes that you do as a script. You know, you
Because
got a story.
they were running it by them too, right? Because there were meetings
We
with
had,
them to make
remember,
sure that it was.
I was telling you earlier about a table read that we had.
Yeah.
Right. There was one time we had a table read. This was right when maybe like 5-6 weeks before we started shooting. So we had the whole cast. The older guys were sitting here, which was almost Pepe Serna, who played Mundo, and William Forsythe, was my boy from the Bronx, who played JD. The younger guys, me, it was in front of Edward, playing him. Richard Coca, who played Mundo, was here. And Steve Wilcox, who's Venezolano, played JD, was across him. Over here, we had the other actors, Puppet, Little Puppet, blah, blah, blah. So one day, we finished the table read, and we take a break. We did this like every day for like 4 or 5 times to change stuff. So this one particular day, they make this table like super fucking long. And we're like, oh, wow. People from Universal come in, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. All of a sudden, we see a bus pull up.
Mhm.
They brought in Joe Morgan, who was JD, the real Joe
The real
Morgan,
JD.
The real one.
and
Yep.
his lieutenant, a guy named Charlie Brown.
Yep.
I believe it was Charlie Brown, to be sure. It was just 2 of them, shackled up, blah, blah, blah. So they set the motherfuckers right there. There's security. I don't know how they were allowed to come out. That's the pool that they had.
Yeah.
So we're reading the script to them, and basically what it was is to get their okay now, to see it, because they had seen the script, I guess, or knew about it, but now they see it as a story with all the actors. And he said, there's a lot of, you know, things that are not complete yet. You know, we're going to make changes on that. And Morgan said, yeah, okay, cool. So he's sitting like where you're at, Julio, and he's looking at me, and I'm getting nervous. And I look at Richard Coke, I said, yo. And the guy's sitting there looking, and he's watching everybody. He kept staring at me, though. And I was like, So in the middle of one of the breaks we have, he stops and he says, "You know what? He goes, you look just like Cheyenne when we were kids." And I'm like, I didn't know he was talking to me. And almost kicks me from under the table. He goes, like, respect, pay attention. I'm like, I don't fucking know this guy. You know, he's gangster.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about the M except for, you know, I've heard about it, but I didn't know the history of it. So he looks at me and tells me that, and then I go, okay. He goes, dude, he goes, you're bringing back some memories, man. That was my little brother, and this and that. So he's talking about when the guy was younger. And then I looked at pictures later of them, and I can't say I looked like him, but I resembled him.
Yeah, okay.
More than almost did.
Yeah.
That shit scared the fuck out of me. Because he just kept staring at me. He was okay. I mean, but mind you, he's been in prison for all his life.
But he said you
resemble-
really reminded him of Young Santana.
Of the
The
Santana,
real-
which
yeah.
was Cheyenne.
Cheyenne, but they called him Santana in the movie.
In the movie with
right.
Santana, yeah.
So none of the names were real in the film, but the crew was.
Yeah.
Long story short, the problems with the movie is once we finished the movie, they when we read it to them, they were like, "Cool, man." This, you know, they're like, "Yeah, they're doing a movie about our, you know, our history, this and that." Little did we know, Eddie had something up his sleeve, which
Yeah.
was all the that narration stuff you see on the film was not on the script. He already had the plan, which is talking about the secrets. of
Yeah,
how
and it was meant to deter people from
Yeah.
wanting to join the gang life, and
Exactly.
that's
They-
what he wanted his movie to be.
and
like.
they thought it was like, you know, a
Glorifying.
glorification of them.
Yeah.
So once they got the permission to go shoot in Folsom, which was never done ever in
Never, ever.
history, and the same thing with Juvenile Hall. When we shot in Juvenile Hall, never has any, to this day, I don't think it has happened, even at Folsom.
Wow.
They had the protection of the Mexican Mafia and the Black Guerrilla family in the prisons and also in the Juvenile Hall.
Were you ever scared?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
I was scared. I was more scared of Juvenile Hall than I was when I went to visit. When they were shooting in the prisons, they started filming before us, the older guys. So the three of us would go just to watch because we got to emulate them now, right? So we're watching, and Folsom was scary. Chino was bad. Not Chino was San Quentin was bad. No, we didn't go to San Quentin. It was Chino and Folsom. Folsom was scary as shit. But when we went to juvie, you know, you're talking about these little kids, 13, 12, 14, 15 years old. Those are soldiers for the Black Guerrilla family, the Mexican Mafia, the Aryan brothers, all that shit. These kids, they don't give a fuck. They were scarier than the older guys because
Right.
they don't give a shit. They're there for life. I mean, we saw one kid get stabbed in the middle of a scene.
Really?
In the middle of a scene. I don't know if you remember the movie when JD comes in and we're walking through the yard. And I'm telling you, there's no clicas here. The Bayantes.
Yeah.
Right.
As we're walking, there's some kids playing basketball. All of a sudden,
Oh,
I turn
no.
around, and we're filming, right? As soon as they say we had to wear vests for the guards to differentiate between the actors and the inmates. And the same thing with these guys when they were Folsom, even though they knew who the actors were, but you don't know when you got a fucking full yard.
Yeah.
So as soon as they say they cut, we got people throwing the jackets on us. And I turned around and said, "Yo, something happened back there." And he goes, "What?" I go, "Something happened back there." When they look, brr, 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 they
Oh, my
locked
God.
it down. Little dude got fucking stabbed. I don't know if he died or not.
Wow.
And you're looking at these 15-year-old kids and like, yeah, man, cool, blah blah blah. That motherfucker just murdered his mother, his grandmother, raped his sister, shit like that, you know.
Wow.
Killed 3 cops.
Like you say, he was more free because they're scarier than the adults.
They got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They really have nothing to lose because even so, you know, their charges they get out when they're 18 and expunged.
Yep.
Well, not expunged, but clear. But if you're a soldier, I mean, okay, if you robbed the store and you accidentally killed, okay, cool. But when you're talking about gang affiliations and blah blah blah, you know, I don't know if any of you guys been to prison or not. I ain't mentioning your names and shit.
Get it right there.
But anyway,
Salud, guys. Salud.
yeah. No comment. You know, you got to be affiliated some way or the other, or click up.
Yeah. Wow.
That's true. That's true.
So that shit was kind of nervous. And then, you know, when we shot on the streets, you know, you had 3 different gangs called the Truce at the time. And, you know, it was nerve-wracking. One night we were shooting the scene when we jumped in Mundo, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, 3:30, something like that. Boom, boom, boom. right down those same tracks, somebody got killed, shot, whatever. I've never seen a fucking movie studio with all that equipment pack up in less than 10 minutes, bro. That shit usually takes a night. Dumb motherfuckers run.
And not, but you were used to different types of movies, right? You were different, like you were over in what was the first movie? Idaho, like
Kentucky,
Kentucky, and now you're in like Folsom Prison.
Yeah, no. And then
Good thing you're 28.
And then we're still shit.
You're still, but you're an adult.
I shit in my pants, bro. Let me tell you, some of the older actors when they went to Folsom were shitting bricks too.
Oh no, I can imagine.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of shit that went on over there.
Oh yeah.
But long story short, we shot and everything was crazy. It was cool. I met a lot of really good people. There was a bunch of those young cats that were gang members that decide, that we used as they used as atmospheres. They call extras or whatnot. That caught the bug, and like 3 or 4 of them became he actually ended up going back to school and became like an assistant director. Another guy's an actor.
Oh, wow.
And other guys into sound and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
something came good. Something good came out of that.
Yeah.
Wow. What's your fondest memory from that era?
From American Me?
Yeah.
The camaraderie all the actors had, and not only that, that was funny. We had some of the real gangsters from Hazard, the guys that if I was to walk down that neighborhood back then without knowing, I'd probably
Hazard
get
was the
my ass
neighborhood.
kicked. Yeah, Hazard is the breeding ground
Hazard.
for the Mexican mafia.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That and Avenues. So if I was walking down that street before that movie, I'd be like, yo, where the fuck you from? But I probably got my ass kicked. So them tough guys. I had the older guys, some of the older guys, they were hanging out in my dressing room, would drink beer, shit, and blah, blah. I made good friends there, It was cool, I was able to, because some of them looked up to me in the sense that, they had seen me in other stuff, and they were like, dude, I want to do this and blah, blah, blah. And, I would talk to them. I said, man, fuck it. This gang shit, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I didn't want to cross a line either, but
Yeah.
I said, there's other things that, and it was cool because, they respected me. They gave me love. They will look out for us, for all the actors. That and the fact that, I'm proud that I was part of one of the top 10 gangster movies ever made. Whether I was in that movie or not, it would still be one of my favorites because it teaches, like you said earlier.
Yeah, no.
And that was the whole point of that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was the whole thing. That was his intention
Yeah.
with the movie. Many of us watch movies like Scarface, and we would take
We
a
glorify
whole other
a whole
side of
different
it.
version of it.
We're like, damn, we didn't think about when they killed him. We thought about
what are
the life he was living.
What are the consequences?
Yep.
And that's what happened at the end of American Me because we had some technical advisors that were ex-Mexican Mafia and affiliates that didn't give out, but helped Eddie with some of the secrets.
Well,
Like if you watch the movie, every song you hear in that movie, that whole soundtrack, makes sense to that scene.
Yep.
That whole slipping into darkness for more,
Yeah.
when they start taking the drugs through the pipes,
Mm-hmm.
they're slipping in the dark. That was a secret the Mexican Mafia didn't fucking appreciate. The fact that the kid got raped in juvenile hall,
Yeah. That was a big
denied
part of
that
it.
was the worst.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They denied that. It
Yeah.
happened.
Oh, wow.
The fact that JD winds up ordering the death of his friend happened. So all that shit to them was like, yo, you fucking crossed us.
Mm-hmm.
They put a hit on Eddie. They had a hit on Edwin almost.
Yeah.
I remember the mayor of LA, Tom Bradley. They built a wing for him at the airport. Tom Bradley had his own security watch over Eddie's house.
Wow.
Yeah, to this day, supposedly he does not.
10
talk
people.
about
He
it.
can't talk about it. He won't talk about it.
Huh?
Yeah, he said it ain't that he won't talk about it, it's that he can't talk.
He can't
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about it.
At least that I know of, well, as far as media too, like 10 people from that movie died. Not actors, but people that
Affiliated.
Affiliated, yeah.
Yeah, no, man. So, wow. So, that's...
It's hard and it's harsh, but sometimes reality is what it is, and people can't accept it. They sued him. The Mexican Mafia tried to sue Edwin Rose. Ain't that about a bitch? Ain't that about a motherfucker?
Do we got a
We're
case?
suing you for, and they went to court.
Oh, you have to go to say, do we got a
And they
case?
lost. What the fuck? Anyway,
I know.
anybody
Well, that's
affiliated
true.
with the MA, I got nothing to do with it. I was just an actor in the movie. I portrayed him, so don't come after me anymore, please.
Yep, and you did an amazing job, though.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
like
sure,
really, I think a
sure.
lot of us identified. Yeah, like a lot of us identified with that young,
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. Look what happened to Joe.
Oh man.
Talk to me,
I
sir.
implemented some of the things that I learned in American Me
got caught.
when I went to to that special place
To college?
to college.
Give me some
The college of life.
Wrong movie or
Wrong movie,
dude.
bro.
Wrong movie, bro.
Wrong movie.
Wrong
dude.
movie.
Yeah,
That's it. I'm out.
That's it. Yeah, you gotta stop.
Oh my God, no.
Oh no. So
But no, I know exactly how it feels walking in there and especially when you're not used to being in that environment.
Well, imagine us as
Yeah.
actors, even though we were not in the facility, I felt like I was in the facility, bro.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
shit was scary. I know, it ain't lying.
Oh yeah.
They treat us, like as actors, as guards and shit, but they would look at us like,
Yeah.
and I'm watching them like, it was
And you
nerve-wracking.
definitely got to click up.
Yeah.
Con tu clica, you know what I mean? And luckily, the places I was at, it was more about, getting together with your raza.
Exactly.
You got to go with your raza, and that's otherwise they'll protect you. You'll be they'll bring you in like familia.
yeah.
Or go with somebody else, and then you're blacklisted.
Then you're on your own.
You're on your own, and then something happens to you. That's it. You're on your own, and then it could happen to you from your raza too.
Huh.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So,
Yeah.
look, like, perfect example. American Me, when they killed Pieface, their own people.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
why? Because he said he hung out with some other dude.
Yeah.
That shit happened. It's real.
Yeah, it's real.
The same thing with anything on the street right now, you know, whether you're in prison or not. And that's one thing, we try to educate, I say younger people. I still consider myself a little bit young, even though I'm pushing 60. I feel young, except for the body aches and shit here and there.
Yeah.
We try to educate, man, no matter what. But I could, it's funny because my dad used to say, el que no coge consejo no llega viejo.
Yep.
And
So
it's the
that-
truth. And when you're a kid, you don't believe that shit. You're like, yeah, all right, whatever, dad, shut up.
Right.
Let me go to the club or whatever. But you think about it, and it's true. You got to think. You got to educate these young people. Not even young people. Sometimes you got to educate people your own age, in a sense, because there's a lot of ignorance, and it's not their fault. That's just the way society.
And that's the way
Does
they were raised, you know what I mean? And it's
Exactly,
the
yes.
environments that we've
The
been
environment,
raised.
exactly.
I grew up in the barrio in the hood, you know what I mean? And I didn't grow up around attorneys and doctors.
Right.
No, it was people slinging dope and
We know what we know.
right.
Yeah, same
and that's
here.
what you grow up with. So that's what you're
Sometimes
emulate.
you become a victim of society, or a victim,
That's
of,
right.
a victim
Well,
of your
yeah.
own circumstances.
Hermano, yeah, his heroes were on TV. His
That's right.
heroes were
Yeah.
on American Me, Colors, and all these other movies that we
Yeah.
got for us.
That's
That's
what's
right.
up. That's what's
So
up.
yeah,
That's
set
what's
on
up.
Sesame Street too, of course.
I don't remember Sesame Street. All I know is anybody about my age, if you know how to say ABC, I taught you that shit. Brinca la tablita que yo la brinque. Remember that shit?
That's good.
Pollito, chicken, gallina, hen. All that shit. That was me and Raul Julia.
He's like, I invented it.
No, I didn't admit that. I taught y'all that shit. If you're about 55 to 60, that was me.
That's cool. Man.
Oh yeah, working with Edward James Olmos, of course, must have been a big. Yeah, well, first he adopted, like so. It was
like-
before the movie.
Way
Even
before. We were friends, and then I was supposed to do what the fuck is this? Stand and Deliver.
Oh, you're supposed to be in there.
Well, I thought I was supposed to be.
You're trying to be a student.
And I was
badass
mad.
You were too old. You were
no, I was mad because he was producing it with Moctezuma Esparza and PBS. It was actually called Walking on Water. Back then.
Oh,
the original name.
Yeah, and I fucking read for this shit 15 times. I knew the script, and I looked at it and said,
They gave it to
I swear to God, I had one of those parts, right? I don't give a shit what part. I would have played the girl. I don't give a fuck. I just want to be in that.
They gave it to Lou Diamond Phillips.
Fuck Lou Diamond. I'm kidding. Lou, if you're watching, you know you're my boy. I'll play with you.
Wait, you're on the record. Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah, because Lou got mad when he didn't do American Me. He
Oh,
said,
really?
Fuck Panchito.
Really?
Lou's a very good friend of mine, man. I love that man to death.
That's
It's,
awesome.
it's like you got the Godfather of the. It's your turn.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
So what happened with Stand and Deliver was like I got pissed. I was like, damn, I almost cried. I think I maybe like 19 at the time, 18, 19, and then almost comes up to me and goes, "Don't worry about it, mijo. Got something for you later." I said, "All right, whatever." Years go by, we did that. it was awesome to work with him, but like I said, his kids and I grew up together. Well, they didn't grow up together; they were a little younger than me, but
Yeah.
we became really good friends. I would go to Eddie's house all the time. And
What's your favorite moment you could think of with
Olmos?
Olmos? Yeah.
When we did Selena.
Really?
Oh, when we did Selena, that shit was awesome. I played him again younger. I played the father. I played the original, the young Dinos.
Queremos bailar.
We sang
Blue Moon. You were singing Blue Moon.
Yeah. No, we sang "We Belong Together" when we got kicked out.
Oh, we belong together.
That's awesome.
But the whole Celine thing was a trip because
Y'all had a good time?
Oh man, we had a blast. I knew Jenny from a long time. Jacob Vargas, who played Paulito in American Me, played AB.
Yeah.
John Seda and I knew each other on and off, but and Constance Marie, who played Marcela, good friends. But the whole thing with Selena was funny because I had read for that movie months before, and again I had my long hair. After American Me, I grew my shit down, and
Should have been Chris, right?
well, that's what I read for. And I had the role originally. I hung out with Chris for like 2 months, and at the time, I want to say it was Fox. I think 20th Century Fox had the film at the time, and something happened where they flipped it, and Warner Brothers took over. When Warner Brothers took over, I was done, and I was pissed. And then that's when Jennifer had called me. She said, "Yo, they switched." And I said, "Yeah, I know." She goes, "That's kind of fucked up." I said, "All right." I go, "So any word on who's playing Abraham yet?" She goes, "I'm not sure." I already knew. Deep in my head, I knew it had to be. Ain't nobody else could have played Abraham but Edward James Olmos.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't even say Andy Garcia because he was too young. But Jimmy Smith, Edward Olmos is the only man to go to. So she said, "They're talking about Eddie." I go, "Yeah, I know." She goes, "That's fucked up." I go, "You know what? It is what it is, About a month later, I see this thing on Entertainment Tonight. And I said, "Okay, Eddie got signed." And I got pissed. I called Eddie. I said, "Yeah, yo, blah, blah, blah." He goes, he didn't know that I was up for the role of Chris. I pretty much had it. And Chris and I became really good friends. To this day, we're friends. So I called him. I said, "Man, that's fucked up. You tell this Greg Nava motherfucker who's the director. I love to death, but I was pissed." He stayed as director, but the company took. So whatever they wanted is what he had to do.
Yeah.
And at the time, Jennifer hadn't signed yet. But they had a lot of actors. But everybody already knew she was going to do it. We all did. We were all together. We hung out for like months before this movie was made. We had makeup tests, screen tests and stuff. I think she might have it. I'm not sure. That there's a scene that she and I did together that we screen tested for, which is the scene where Chris tells her they're walking on the pier, when he tells her about something about his dad and blah blah blah, and it's before they get married, I think. And I think she has it, and Eddie has it probably. I'm gonna get that someday. But long story short, I called me. He said, "Don't worry about it. I got something again." He sends me these pages the next. There were no fucking fax. I mean, there was fax, but it wasn't like no email shit. It was like FedEx or UPS. So I get this envelope from the studio, and it's got 17 pages or 18 pages written, part of the script. So he created the young characters. Him and Abraham, because Abraham knew me, and Abraham was pissed too. And Abraham said, "Yeah, Panchito has to be in this film."
That's dope.
So that's when they did the flashback thing about when when the
Growing
Dinos
up.
were young.
Oh, wow.
And there was a lot of more stuff that we did in the film that they cut out, but it was funny. So he called
Los
me.
Dinos.
Yeah, Los Dinos. It was the original Dinos. So the funniest memory was when he sent me that. I called him. I said, "Man, what the fuck?" I gotta eat spaghetti again. And he says no. He goes, "Abraham wants this." I said, "All right." So I called Chris Perez, and Chris goes, "Man, I got nothing to do." He goes, "I'm pissed." But then, John Seda did a great job.
Yeah.
And John was actually better for the role than me, to be honest, at that time. I think so.
He's a little lighter, no?
A little lighter. He looks a lot like Chris. And John's a good kid. He's a good actor. I wouldn't say that he was better than me. He was better fit for that role.
Yeah.
And he did a hell of a job. So I'm gonna knock him.
That's pretty cool.
But so I get to Texas, and I see Edward Olmos standing here, and Abraham Quintanilla, and they're both wearing the same shit, and they're not filming, right? And I get to screen test again to play young Abraham. What the fuck? So I'm there, and they're looking at me and goes, "If you don't get this part, mijo, you suck as an actor." I looked at both of them. I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And that was one of my proudest moments when he told me, "If you don't get this part, you fucking suck as an actor." I'm like, "Oh, damn, that's messed up." How many more? Who do you want me to read for? Fucking Selena too?
I love Edward James Olmos
He's a good man.
as a person, man. I mean, he's come out and
He's real, yeah.
yeah, he's done talks out here.
One of the most honest men I've
university.
ever met beside my father.
He's a great inspirational speaker.
Yes, sir.
And I bumped into him. I was working with a migrant program one time. I'm just gonna say a quick story, but I was working with him, and I was working at the migrant program as a counselor down in Boca Raton. And I read in the paper that he was gonna be at this university. I think it's like Florida Central, whatever, one of these little universities, which was totally like very Anglo. No tenía nada que ver con los hispanos, right? But I was at a program that had like 100 Latinos at this university called Lynn University. So I'm like, I went to my boss. I'm 19 years old. So
Did you
I
eat
tell him,
spaghetti?
no, le digo, I tell my boss, I say, hey, would you let me go down and see if I could, because I had seen him talk to Latino kids. And I was like, he changes the way people are. Like, so if I could
It's a
get him,
motivator.
yeah, I said, if I could get him to come down and say hi to the kids. And he's like, you think you could do that? I was like, why not? He's a nice guy. I go down there and he does his motivational speech for all. Like I might have been 150 white people, black people. I was probably one of the only Hispanics in there. Afterwards, he's out there signing autographs, and he was amazing. And I sneak like to the side right there where you're at, and I'm like, hey, listen, so I'm a counselor about 30 minutes away from here. We have about 99 migrant kids, most of them Mexican. A lot of them at the age of where they might drop out.
I bet you he said, "Say no more."
Yeah, he said, pull the car around.
Yep.
He said like that.
That's him.
I couldn't believe it. I was like,
That's him.
whoa.
That's
We
him.
went and got the car. We get there. The kids were at study hall. He sits in the sala, in the center of the sala where all the dorms are around. And the kids are coming from study hall. And I said, yo, bring all the kids in. And when they walk in, he gets in that little ese pose like,
The
yeah,
pachucos.
yeah, a little, yeah. And they walk, yo, they you didn't have to say nothing. You didn't have to say who he was.
That's Eddie.
These kids just started clapping. And it was like, it was the most beautiful thing. I was like, wow.
He's an inspirational man.
He was.
And
Yeah.
to this day, he's still, I just found out he was fighting cancer not too long ago.
Really?
I did not know that. And
Wow.
he didn't tell his sons, he didn't tell me. And I'm close with him. He had throat cancer while he was doing this show, The Mayans.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
And then I found out, and I called him. He says, I didn't want none of my kids to know. I didn't want you guys to know. Then he called me on his kids. I was like, wow.
Wow.
But he fought it. I mean, God
Gracias a
bless
Dios.
him.
Gracias a Dios.
That was
Edward James
awesome.
almost.
What's up?
Yo.
Yeah,
So,
Te quiero, papá.
bro.
listen, so you also do, because you mentioned that you have a love for boxing.
Yes, sir.
But martial arts?
No martial
No?
arts.
It's all just boxing?
Boxing, music, I'm a percussionist.
Yeah. Fun fact, yo. So my man, we're out there talking, and I don't know how I just mentioned either Cypress Hill, but he was like, "Oh, my man, no."
No, we're talking about Funk Dubious.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and
Fuck
then he come out. He talked. He. Okay, I'll let you tell the story. How are you involved with what Cypress Hill?
I was in LA for years, and I met this young man named Kid Frost, Arturo Molina. And
Shout out Kid Frost.
Yep.
Yes.
Frost, yeah, my man. I just saw him not so long. Frost was doing. This was actually right in between American Me and Mi Vida Loca. And Frost, we were at Universal. We were doing the looping stuff for our film American Me, and Eddie comes up to me and says, and I know about Frost.
He worked on the music.
He did the title, the end track to the movie.
No.
Ain't no sunshine.
Wow.
Ain't no
Did
sunshine.
not know that.
At the very end of the movie, all the credits come down,
Yeah.
and it's Frost's song. Ain't no sunshine.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
So Frost and I were friends, and we went somewhere, and I was playing my congas at Timbales or something. I was playing congas at some band. Not with a band, I just sat in. And he goes, yo, I'm going to hook you up with somebody. And I already knew Muggs from a mix master from New York, DJ Muggs. And next thing you know, it's Cypress Hill, and there were nobody yet. The album hadn't come out yet.
Oh, it's before the album.
It's before the album. They were still doing they had like 5 songs left for the album, for the first album. And they were big fans of mine, and like I said, I knew Muggs. Of course, Sendo's Cubano.
Uh-huh.
B-Real's Mexican and Cubano. And Muggs I've known from New York and from the Mixmasters. So they were up on stage. Frost did this big concert in Santa Ana, and it was Lighter Shade of Brown, Frost. Well, Frost was the headliner. It was Lighter Shade of Brown, Frost, Funk Dubious, the Hooligans. Can't remember who the fuck else, and then Cypress.
Wow.
So they had the congas and all that shit up there, and I looked at Be Real, and Be Real was like a big fan of mine at the time, and I was bugging. I said, "Yo, you want to come up and play with us?" I said, "Fuck it." I went up there, I started jamming. Next thing you know, I'm with the Funky Cypress Hill Click. And I winded up with them like 5-6 years on and off, just jamming.
No way.
Yeah, he would be at the concert.
You toured with them and everything.
I toured with them. I played. I did like 2 of the songs in the second album, but everything else was
That's pretty dope, yeah.
underground.
This
shit.
guy.
Everything else,
Multi-talented, man.
everything else was underground, brother.
How did you get into the percussion stuff?
Since I was a kid, man, I'm Puerto Rican, bro. That's all we know. We know how to act. We know how to act like we could fight and like we could play.
And dance.
So all of that shit was together. All that shit was together.
then
Yeah, my parents, like I said, my parents was, of course, acting. The fight game, my brother was a champion. But we grew up in the city, so you had to fight.
Hey, is it true that your dad was the guy on Scarface?
Yes, sir. That's the man we were talking about earlier, Cesar Cordova.
Which one was your dad?
He
He played the cook. He was the cook in the sandwich.
remember he called
the sandwich shop. Hey, man, there's a lot of dishes to be done.
Oh yeah.
That's my old man.
wash him your sandwich.
That's who we
Get
were talking
sandwich,
about.
sandwich.
That's who we were
Yeah.
talking about earlier. Who put me into the thing that he? Remember I was telling
That
you
was
the
him.
original cast of West Side Story. He did
That's
the thing
him.
with Pacino.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
him and Al are like this.
Wow.
Word.
Que jamón y jamón.
Que carne más carne.
Oh, God bless him.
Thank
bro.
you.
God bless him.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Wow.
that's so
Yeah,
awesome.
That was my man. Caesar
Yeah.
was my man.
How nobody could forget that part, right? Like it's just so crazy.
He made
It's
it
like
his own, man. He made it his own. Brian De Palma, Al Pacino and him go back. And not only that, he did Carlitos Way too. And Carlitos Way, they cut out a lot of the shit because
Yeah.
Carlitos Way was really long. But him and Al go back, like I said, since 1963.
That's what's up.
You know, so Al told Brian De Palma, he goes, "This motherfucker, he's the one that's got to do this." And Al Pacino always has his crew.
Yeah.
Like there's certain actors that he'll bring in to whatever fucking movie he does. F. Murray Abraham was one of them. The guy that played what's his name? The guy that got hung from the El Mono, Omar. Well, they got hung from the helicopter.
Oh
Yeah.
That's one of
Guys.
Al's best friends. There was another one that passed away, a guy named Richard Bright, who was with him in The Godfather. He played his bodyguard. So
So go back and look at that one.
Caesar and Al and a guy named Jaime Sanchez. Jaime Sanchez became an alcoholic and he quit acting and something happened. But my father and him remained friends for years.
That's
You know,
amazing.
they were like tight. So they would get together and now I was like, Caesar, I got something for you. And so he was like, oh, coño, Al, man, check it out, man. We gotta do this shit, man. So one time when they were doing the Scarface, I walked up to Al and I've known him since I was a kid. I said, Al, how you fucking think I know this? You fucking father and that other son of a bitch, Jaime Sanchez. I know what the motherfuckers. Straight up. And I was like, all right, cool. But yeah. So he went and Brian De Palma looked at my dad and he said, do what you want. And Al said, and Al told my father, I remember because I was on the set, they said, Stephen Bauer had no clue. Stephen Bauer was like fucking lost. Stephen was like, what the fuck is going on? And Al said, watch this. If you want to watch a master at work, watch this. So Stephen was like thinking he's talking about himself, about Al. He's going to watch this master at work. So he goes, Caesar, actor studio, improv, let's go. That whole shit was made up.
Really?
That whole
The
shit
hell
at
is
the
like-
end, that last
Yeah.
scene, when he first tells us, hey, there's dishes to be washed, that was some of the scene, but then they rewrote some, and they
Yeah.
kept going. That whole thing, when they walk out,
They're walking out.
that was
the
supposed
classic.
to end right there. They were supposed to just keep walking.
Oh.
So
Dad didn't let him.
Brian De Palma said, let him ride. So that's what Al Pacino, you can ask Angel Salazar, Chichi, how it happened, because he was there, and he goes, watch his master go to work. And I was listening, I'm thinking the same thing as Stephen Bauer. I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm going to watch Al Pacino do his shit again. I've known that forever. Him and my father went off. They went off. That scene was longer. They could have that shit kept going and going. They were both talking mad shit to each other. And I'm sitting there, wow, that's genius. That's
fun.
improv.
Oh man, that's
And that's
beautiful.
what they learned in the 60s at the Actor Studio, Willie Strasberg. That shit ain't taught. That shit is,
Yeah.
it's taught, but it comes from the heart and it comes from, the artistic mind of some people. There's not a lot of people like that.
What is it that if someone wants to learn now or get into the industry now? Because now you guys es la época de YouTubers y la época de. So what now can a young one? You know, we out of Florida, and Florida's not known for acting. I mean, but what if someone here in Florida wants to get down and get into the acting game? What is it that you can recommend to them?
Don't do it.
Bro, it is.
Okay, hold on one second.
¿Qué es eso?
Pan con queso.
Joe, Jesus, man.
Bro, aquí.
Quería un refill.
Te estoy diciendo que ROMIS tacos.
They are off the chain.
That shit
Really
don't look
takes
like
care
no.
of
That
us.
shit don't look like no taco, nigga.
It's in the form of a taco if you grab it with two hands.
Hey, I did take a peep at the tacos de birria that they got over there.
The what?
Birria tacos, bro. It's a shredded beef.
Oh, bro.
Bro.
You dip it into the.
You dip it into the
Let my boy
sauce.
see.
Look.
Look, that's what you eating right now?
Yeah, that's a taco connoisseur over there. Ya se lo terminó. Ya se he
Chacho,
finished
ese
it.
se lo papió.
Yeah, it's gone.
Lo que
It's gone.
queda es baba.
Julio.
Recommendation, to be honest, study your craft. You know, people think that it's easy to do this shit.
Uh-huh.
And nowadays with social media and stuff, people could act and blah, 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 do all this bullshit.
Yeah.
Cool. But if you're really serious about what you want to do, whether it's music, whether it's broadcasting, art, study
Yeah.
your craft, learn it, know about it, know a little bit, at least some history of it and where it comes from. Because it's not easy, especially in the industry, especially being, of darker skin or ethnic.
Yep.
You know, we can do our own shit, which is what we're doing. You know, and I have some projects coming up with my fellow constituents that are over there eating tacos and fucking other shit. Names will not be mentioned in this broadcast due to FBI status. No, we could do our own stuff, but as far as the youngest, take a free drama class at the YMCA. You know,
Yeah.
take drama. I don't even know if they still have that shit in high school
Yeah,
anymore.
they got it
drama
everywhere. You
class.
got theaters all around.
No, but I'm talking about
They
a
have it
drama
here at the
class,
Straps.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely in high
Straps.
school. They all got drama, thespian,
Okay,
yeah.
so do that. You know, it might sound like shit.
Did you still, when you, because you were so engulfed in it
Never
already.
did. Never did, to be honest with you. And I say that because I know my drama classes and my theater classes were from work in progress. From the time I was 5 years old till now that I'm 59, almost 60, I took one acting class one time and I quit and I left it and I ended up teaching the class. You really can't teach somebody how to act. You could give them the pointers.
Yeah.
You could lead them in that direction.
The rest has to.
The rest has to come from within. I learned from all the people that I've worked with. Thank God. From 5 years old, Raul Julia. Oh shit, what's that?
Es por acá. Es Julio's.
All right, check it out. I got my own mug. I run this shit. ¿De quién es esto?
Sangría.
No,
¿Es un modelo?
no sé.
But
Yes, it is.
¿Es modelo?
I think so.
Nice.
Have a sip.
Oh, yeah, it's modelo, bro.
Oh, is that?
So,
Wow. Nice.
That's
I-
going to keep it nice and cold.
yeah, no, I like the mug. Can I keep this?
We'll talk to Jesus.
She didn't even look at me. She said,
Yeah.
hell no.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll,
yeah,
we'll send him a video.
mm.
We're keeping this.
It's it's something that learn a little bit about it. A lot of people think acting or singing is easy. You might have a decent voice, but you can't train that voice. You have to learn how to train that voice.
That's right.
In order to train that voice, you got to take a class, or you got to learn. Now you got YouTube, Instagram, all that bullshit,
Yeah.
where you can learn how to do stuff. Your best bet: go to a singer, go to an acting class, not for life, but I would recommend it. Like I said, I've never took an acting class. My acting classes were from people I work with. I work with some of the greatest: Raul Julia, Jose Ferrer, Stuart Whitman, Vera Miles, Charles Bronson. The list goes on and on and on and on. And as a youngster, I watch all this shit. Not only I watch them, I watch the cameramen, I watch the directors. That's why I know production in that sense. I don't know production, but I know how to make a movie.
Yeah.
And that's because I learned. That was my school.
Yeah.
Because my school, I did a series called Hill Street Blues for 5 years. I learned everything from there.
I remember that.
was a
I
great
would
show.
thank you.
Yeah.
that was a great show.
I learned a lot of camera stuff back then because I would sit behind the cameraman and watch. I was 15 years old when I did the pilot of Hill Street Blues.
That was the pilot? You were on the pilot?
The very first one, yes.
Wow.
It was called Hill Street Station.
Mira pa' allá.
And then I learned from Daniel Travante, and God bless his soul, I learned from one of the best, Michael Conrad, who passed away. Michael Conrad played the lieutenant. He was the one that was in the original, ¿cómo se llama esta? The Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great man. and I would watch
The original.
Yeah, Charles Bronson taught me a lot of shit. I would sit with him and everybody, Mr. Bronson. I would call him Charles. He goes, "Call me Chuck."
That's
All right,
awesome.
Chuck. And we would take me to his dressing room. We'd sit there, and he would talk to me, just general bullshit. And then I would ask him because I was a big fan of his. My grandmother was a huge fan of his. My grandmother didn't speak.
My dad was a huge fan of his too.
Yeah, my grandmother didn't speak a lick of English, but she saw Charles Bronson. Woo! And when
Made me feel a certain way.
And when God bless her soul. When she found out I was doing this movie with him, she was like, "What?" And I took a picture of him. My mom has it as a Polaroid picture back then, and I gave it to my grandmother, and she just cried. She was, ese es mi héroe. I go,
Wow.
you know me como un jodón. Yo, él. Mira, coño, de pa' allá. But you know, that's how I learned. So I can't knock acting classes. I just at that time I already knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know. So
Well,
it wasn't
that's
like
a beautiful drink.
it was like you can't teach me something I already know in a sense.
He gets the pretty stuff.
Wow.
I mean, there's always something. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I got it.
Oh no, I think she was asking mommy. I'm good, mommy.
Oh, she cute. We'll bring her over here.
Yeah, big shout out Gabby.
Oh, wait a minute,
Yo.
Gabby, ven acá. Ven acá.
Cuidado.
Now they're treating us like gold. Thank you to ROMIS talk.
Okay.
I couldn't hear it.
Oh man.
I got my Princess Leia shit on, so I couldn't hear it.
Yo, so I mean, wow, you said how many years now? Wow. 55 years?
I started when I was 5. I'll be 60,
Started when
so
you
it's
was
55
5
years
years old, man.
55 years.
So-
It's crazy. I was thought about it the other day. I said, God damn. And you don't realize there's a lot. Me and CJ
Time
were
flies,
talking
bro.
the other day. Me and CJ were talking the other day about certain stuff, and somebody came up with some old movies. There's shit that I did that I don't remember, to be honest.
Really?
It's not Alzheimer's. It was so much in like the 70s and 80s. Like in the 80s, bro, I was on every TV show you could imagine. TJ Hooker, Chips,
Yep.
Beretta, Starsky and Hutch,
Yeah.
Wow.
fucking Cagney and Lacey, Hunter, 21 Jump Street, shit, it goes on.
Oh, wow.
Switch, which was Robert Wagner and fucking Eddie Albert back in the early 70s. You know, and there was a couple of other things that I don't remember that I did. And I look and I'm like, wow, I did that shit.
Where does that put you now with the strike that's going on? I mean, I didn't,
You know,
I didn't plan on.
I'm 100% with my union, man. You
Yeah.
know, the AI shit and then the fucking Netflix streaming and Hulu and all that shit, they're fucking us.
Everyone should get some. Everyone should. Like, because there's stuff that you did when you were a kid on Sesame Street that
And
people
that-
are going to be watching now.
And with Sesame Street, to be honest, there was back then they had no residuals and royalties. This whole thing with the streaming stuff right now, you know, American Me just came out on Netflix maybe like, 4 or 5 months ago.
Yep.
It was in the top 10 for the first week. It was the number 1 for like a week, then it went to number 2 the second week, and then it stayed in the top 10 for like 5 weeks. So American Me has never been on television. It will never be on television. That's how harsh and fucking cruel and real that movie is. So who took it? Netflix. HBO's never had it. Showtime never had it.
No?
No.
Oh,
no,
wow.
Never. It went from the theaters to VHS at the time, then DVD, and that's it.
Oh, wow.
And then they did the Blu-ray version.
Well,
And
you
now,
remember you'd go to the video store, you couldn't get that movie. Man, everybody would steal it.
Yes, the number one
Wait,
stolen
the
movie.
number one stolen movie,
Stolen
yeah.
movie in Blockbuster history. Believe it or not. So that's a
You
record
heard
in
that?
itself.
The number one
number
stolen
one
movie.
stolen
And Blockbuster. How'd y'all know that shit?
I remember.
heard it.
I
That
had
shit-
heard.
No, and it's. I thought.
But it
yo,
used to happen to us. We used to go here.
you
We had
open it
3 or
up
4
and the
rental
box
people.
and the
They
guy
will never
said
bring
that
it
shit
back.
in there.
Yeah, that was it.
No, or they go to the store and steal it.
Steal it,
They
yeah.
came with them little tools. I know a lot of people need to no, they got not. Those of y'all motherfuckers owe me money, bitches. You know who you are.
La piratería.
Hey, Chacho, I'm watching you. I know where you live, motherfucker. I'm 60 now. I got people over there.
So did you get some checks in now that it was on Netflix?
No, here's the thing. This is why one of the reasons we're on strike as well.
Yeah.
So we're thinking some of us actors, Little Puppet, Danny De La Paz, myself, even Olmos. Well, I don't know. I haven't talked to Eddie about that yet because we talked about other things. But we're sitting there going, oh shit, okay, we're gonna make a little bit of money now. Cool.
On Netflix, yeah.
Bro, I got a fucking residual from American Me from streaming. $45 motherfucking dollars, bro.
No, man.
I know people get food stamps more than that.
Yeah, word.
And it's bullshit. No, they run it and use it
Yeah,
and stream it.
and that
keep
story,
going and going.
that amount he just said, like many of those people on strike will tell you that all day. $7.
Yeah, nothing,
Yeah, like-
nothing.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
No,
And they're
nothing,
making
nothing.
millions.
And they're making all that money, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, that the AI thing, it's not fair. Not even the residuals. Like right now, I was offered a couple years ago to do have a recurring role on the show Ozark. which is on Netflix.
Yeah.
So they wanted to, and I got the part, and negotiations ran it down. I said, fuck it. They wanted me to sign 2 years with them, right? And offer me a minimal amount of money, not minimal, but considering, and I couldn't do anything else for that year and a half.
Oh, no, you got to get paid. They're going to stop you from working. Yeah.
So I was like, I called my manager. Oh, shit.
I got you. Yeah.
I called my manager at the time because I negotiate my own shit. You know, you could be my manager. You're the middleman. So I tell you, tell them this, that. So he said, yo, they're offering this. I said, no, I'll tell them this. Go. No, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sign with Bicho Plástico fucking
Yep.
production company por año y medio para que después me digan que yo no puedo hacer otra cosa y nomás me van a pagar $1,500 a la semana. Y eso cuando trabajo nada más, pero eso, what happens to the rest of that year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Te jodiste.
I'm on hold. They don't pay me? No, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know,
So you turned that down?
Oh yeah, I'm down with the writers. I'm down with the
Yeah.
I'm down with the productions, with the actors, the writers, and if the directors go on strike, now fuck it, I'm with them too. Mind you, I'm a member of all those guilds, unions. But you know what? What is right is right.
Yeah.
You know, look, they want to take this AI shit. They want to not only just us actors, but let's say the background workers, the extras. So you're in my movie right now, right? And they fucking copy you. Now they paid you for this, right? So now they could take that same image, change your clothes, and put you in 5 other movies without paying you. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck
That's
that.
not cool.
No.
That's not cool at all. And mind you, and that's for the extras. They don't make shit. They make a little bit of money. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Well, it's
wrong.
like,
It's wrong.
you know, as a musician, también as a songwriter,
The same thing.
AI can write a song in a few seconds, and yeah, you're out of
Yeah.
job.
Or take a sample of your shit without permission now.
Yeah.
Y te jodiste.
They can- yeah.
No.
Yeah, 'cause
And
they
there's
can-
nothing you can do
They
about
can
it.
use parts of my song to write it for somebody else.
Amen.
Good.
That's what that is.
That's crazy. Wow.
Those are the next ones that go on strike.
Yep.
Wow. So you still on the side, you like to go and jam out.
I jam out, brother.
Yeah.
I'm a percussionist.
I've been aching to go with Julio. I said I want to go down to one of the spots.
This coming Tuesday. If anybody's watching, I'll be at what's it called? Ruby's Elixir. Elixir. or some
Elixir,
shit. Yeah,
Elixir.
It's in St.
Ruby's
Pete.
Elixir.
I play with a band. You know, just jam shit.
He
That's what's
likes
up.
to jam, bro.
That's
That's
cool.
all.
You're part of the band,
That's
or
my
are you
third.
just joining the band?
Percussions.
I'm semi part of the band. They don't fuck with me. It's my sister's band. Not my sister,
Oh,
my friend. I go there, do my thing. You know,
Oh, that's
it's my
cool.
therapy. You know,
That's cool,
I
man.
Go out there
Yeah.
and then just.
That's what's beautiful. That's
Awesome.
Man.
Ahí me alivio la mente.
I'm so happy that we've connected. I
No doubt,
think
no doubt. Likewise.
Yeah, bro,
His energy is just so I think amazing. I love that you do everything. We have a common friend, Freddie.
No,
a
Freddy
common friend,
loco.
Freddie. Yeah.
Cabrón, te estoy buscando, maricón, coge el teléfono. You watching, canto de pendejo.
Oh, and so I love Freddie the same way.
No, man, yeah. Very crazy shit house, right? That's my brother. I've known him for years. But, you know, now in the process, we have I'm producing this film out of LA with this young man named, he goes by the real Mr. Homicide. We're about 10%.
That's his nickname.
That's what he goes by, but his name is Anthony Viramontes.
Okay.
It's his
For any
baby.
particular reason? Mr. Homicide?
Mr. Homicide.
He ain't killed nobody but an ant, so I tell that all the time. You know, these young cats, he's young, you know. They call me Mr. Murder. So you ain't murder shit, but your own name, motherfucker. That's what you
They call me London. London Cagano.
Cagando.
They call me el bicho, porque ya te lo dicho. Te paso el ficho. No, but
So you produce? Yeah.
I'm producing this film myself with him. Angel Salazar, who played Chichi in Scarface, is also producing it with my
Man,
and one of your
we miss
people-
Chichi.
Y un mexicano de allá, chicano de Los Ángeles, que se llama Peter Vasquez. He played El Chivo in Blood In, Blood Out.
Nice.
Orderly.
So we're all the 4 stars of it with him, and we're producing that. We're about 10% left to finish.
Wow.
We got some good people in there. I got.
If you need some music for some of the episodes,
We got.
let me know.
Do you
some-
do
hell yeah.
do you do a lot of back and forth traveling? Is that a lot of things that?
I go back and forth to LA, not as often as I want to, but I do. I've been doing a lot of these meet and greet things, you know, for different shows, and I'm traveling a little bit more now than before. But like I said, we got this show to finish now. We're doing this movie. We're doing a big thing in October called Urban Con, which is being produced
That's pretty dope.
out there. And I have Mr. Homicide. I got my best friend, my brother Cuban Link, coming along with us. hopefully Sendong from Cypress Hill, and Ralph M. the Mexican out of the Funk Dubious, and Tony G.
Urban
original Mix Master.
That's
So
what's up.
That's cool.
October 22nd, if you guys are in LA, we'll be in
Yeah.
Ontario, California doing that.
That's pretty cool.
And after that, my next project, which is a little on the DL right now that we're working on, it's in production or pre-production or post-production. I mean, pre-production. It's gonna be really, really, really good. I won't say much about it now
Yeah.
because we're still working on it.
Our little Sean
I got
show.
Us Entertainment and CJ Productions and my production, Panchito Gomez. I'm working on this really, really nice short film that's gonna be bad fucking ass.
I can't wait. I
Yeah,
can't
little
wait.
by little, papi. Little by
Yeah.
little.
What's up, man?
Fellas,
Bro, it's
Panchito Gomez,
it's an
man.
honor, man, to meet somebody
It was an honor, man.
who's,
Thank
who's
you
been
very
a part
much.
of some iconic movies.
No doubt, my brother.
Yeah.
Iconic is one thing, but you know what? I'm proud and I'm happy that you guys had me here because
Yeah.
that only goes to show that everything I've done in my career has made an impact on young people, older people,
and people of Joe's age.
Us young cats, we need to hear stories like this.
Shit. I can't hold my bladder no more. My back hurt and shit. I tried to do a backspin the other day at fucking Chicago lowrider.
You did
show.
not.
No, I did some up rocking and shit. I paid for that shit. I'm original Rocksteady crew, New York. So my shit, I thought I was 21 again. I should stop doing it. Fucking Kid Frost looked like he had a seizure. Fucking Cuban Link couldn't breathe. He asked me if his heart was still there. So we old motherfuckers, but we got down. We still put it on, baby. We still put it on.
Man.
Ain't that great though?
We still put it on, man.
Like I love that. I love it.
Moyo, I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for having me on your show. Julio,
Jay Perez.
Joe, what's
Hey,
up,
brother.
baby?
God bless you, bro.
Appreciate it, brother.
Damas y caballeros,
My man
Panchito
Ronnie,
Gomez.
my man CJ,
Pancho.
love you,
Coco.
brothers.
Thank you,
DJ.
guys.
Thank you.
God bless you
man.
guys.
Hey, thanks
El
for
Man
coming,
Show.
El Mancho.